Hiya, stars! This is a step-by-step tutorial for building a two-story cabin like this in the Sandbox Island house. I added a grassy area to build a large cabin. Use large floor panels to lay out the size of your building. Make sure your placement grid size is set to large. It's easy to line up default size walls and floors exactly using large placement grid. Get used to using advanced move and advanced rotate for everything except painting and resizing items. Default dragger will ruin your day. I'm making this building 3x4 panels. I want to have a deck in front of the house, so I'm making a raised base. Resize a floor panel to fit your layout and paint it a different color. You might need to switch to medium placement grid size to line up the base exactly with your floor. Using large placement grid, raise your base. Using the selection box tool, select your floor and raise it above your base. Use the selection box tool to select your base and lower it to the ground level. Clone the base to make it taller. Use the selection box to select your floor and lower it onto the base. Use the selection box, clone, and advanced move to fill in the floor. I decided I wanted a wood floor, so I deleted the original floor. Use large steps for the deck and paint them the color you like. I started making a wood floor, but the boards look too big, so here's how to make smaller boards. Buy a medium floor panel. Then buy a double floor panel. Use large placement grid and shrink the big floor 5 levels to be the size of the medium floor. Use medium grid size and advanced move to line up the floor with your base. Now use clone and advanced move on large placement grid to fill in your floor. Make your walls with plain shapes, because if they overlap, they won't look glitchy like overlapping wood, brick, and stone shapes. Use medium placement grid and advanced move to line up your wall with the floor. Paint the wall white. Use large placement grid so your cloned wall pieces will line up perfectly. Use clone and advanced move to fill in your wall. I'm making the walls double thick. This way, the inside and outside can be different colors. Also, you can sink decorations into the wall without them sticking out the other side. I want this house to have 2 stories, so I'm doubling the wall height. We need a staircase, so start with a medium cube. I'm still deciding if I want the whole house to be 2-level, so I'm using a tall wall panel to line up the cube. Buy large steps. Use the small cube to fill in the gap under the stairs. As long as you clone a cube that is already lined up, You can easily line up the next cube using large placement and advanced move. I painted this cube black to make it easier to see when the small cube was lined up correctly. Doors are harder to build than they should be. Switching to default dragger will stand the doors up in the right position. I'm cloning and rotating the clone to make a double door. I'm making a front deck for the house. The steps are the right height for the floor, so I'll clone a piece of the floor to start making the deck. I want the outside to look like a wood cabin, so I'm using wood shapes. The doorway was the biggest challenge. I could have made this easier by framing the doorway with rectangular beams, but I didn't think of that until I was editing the video. The boards didn't line up, and wood shapes look glitchy when they overlap. Wood, stone, and brick parts look glitchy when they overlap or don't line up exactly. Plain shapes don't have that problem as long as they are the same color, so they are much easier to build with. I made the outside walls bigger than the inside so the parts wouldn't overlap. I'm cloning the base to fill in under the walls. Be careful using the selection box tool. The blue outline of my selection is too big, which tells me I selected a part I didn't mean to. The selection outline was the right height for the pieces I wanted, but when I move it, only one of the panels was selected. My selection box grabbed and cloned the steps instead of the other panel. This one is easy to fix by deleting the steps, but it can really mess up your build if you select and move parts you didn't mean to. So always be sure the blue outline matches the parts you meant to select before you clone or move. Hide the uneven corners using cylindrical beams to make support pillars. When a build gets this tall, you will need a flying pet or a jetpack to work on it. If you don't have a flying pet, you can use a propeller toy to get to the top, or build something you can climb outside the building. It's okay if the beams are not exactly the same height, because the roof will hide them. Roof parts can be hard to build with. They can be tricky to line up and resize, so I'm using ramps and slabs for this cabin. The default dragger places the ramp on top of the beam, so use advanced move to lower it. It's okay if it overlaps the wall. You can use medium or small placement grid to align the slab with the top of the wall if you want to be exact. Clone and advanced move will keep the pieces at the same height. A large slab will be the same height as the 22.5 ramp, so they will line up pretty easily. Default dragger will place the slab exactly on the top of the wall, but you'll want to use advanced move to move it left and right. This really doesn't have to be exact, but small placement grid can be used if you're a perfectionist. The deck needs a railing. The only part you need is the cylindrical beam. Double-check the rails don't poke through the inside wall. Let's build decorative lights with no action buttons for the deck. All you need is a magic short candle and a small glass sphere. Rotate the lanterns so they each look a little different. Once rotated, they will want to move at angles. You can clone the original lamp so it will move in a straight line. You can also place all the lamps first and go back and rotate them. The cabin looks really plain, so I need to add some windows. Let's add a matching porch light. like and subscribe so you don't miss the series of build tutorials I made for everything in my garden getaway. Let me know in the comments if you found this tutorial helpful, and thanks for watching. Bye, stars.